Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope I'll be having a great week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, you know college football season is right around the corner when all the drama and news, it starts to pick up. It's so funny how things work. In the off season, nothing going on. It's dead quiet. But during the season, we're making 2 or 3 videos a day. There's that much going on, whether that be just drama, news, the previews, the reaction videos, and etc., etc. I wouldn't say the MBG sweatshop is officially open, but I can assure you this. We're dusting off the blinds, we're cleaning the windows, and we're getting ready. Before we get into this video, let me say this, and this is very important. The AP rankings have officially been released. I haven't looked at them. Why? For those of you who don't know my stance on them, I don't care about preseason rankings. They're pointless. I'm not even going to look at the rankings in week 1 for any team. I could care less. But, and I have a ginormous big but, if y'all want to see my reaction to it, I know y'all want to see me go on a rant, tangent, and scream about this team's overrated. Let's see if we can get this video to, we'll say, 500 likes in 2 hours, and we'll do that video later tonight. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. What is this comment on the recent video? Moop the poop! In all caps, great video. Listen up, buddy. You call me Moop the Poop one more time, I'm going to personally drive to your house and deliver you a knuckle sandwich. Never call me that again. That is completely besides the point, though. What we need to talk about in today's video is something that is trending everywhere, and it is interesting, to say the least. I've been waiting to make this video for a few hours. Earlier this morning, I was making a ton of phone calls and sending text messages to a ton of my sources. And the phone calls and texts weren't really to validate anything. It was more so if I had questions beyond this, and we'll touch on this later in the video, about the possibility of him being, and him, I'm talking about Oklahoma starting quarterback, suspended for the season, because I've never seen anything ever like this before. I know some of you are going to know what I'm referencing and talking about. Others, you're completely lost, and that's fine. If you're on Twitter, you know what's going on. I got a lot of context to give you guys, so you might want to strap in, buck up, get you a snack and popcorn for this one, because it's going to be good. I'm going to try to run through everything and touch on the high points. So here's the first thing you need to know. Late last night, this was trending on Twitter. Venmo. Now I know what you're sitting there saying. Matt, why was this trending on Twitter? Great question, my friend. I'd love to answer it. There were some screenshots going around social media where Oklahoma's starting quarterback paid somebody for sports gambling. I know what you're sitting there wondering. Well, come on, Matt. How do you know it's sports gambling? How do you know it was for that? That's jumping the gun, ain't it? No, not really. Because he labeled it as that. Yes, this big dummy labeled his Venmo transaction, 2 of them, as sports gambling. You see it right here. This isn't AI generated, it's not photoshopped. This has already been proved. Let me give you some context behind this. So what wound up happening is some Texas Longhorns fan was digging through. I don't have Venmo, but apparently you can just scroll back and see all the recent transactions. Which to me is kind of weird, because why is that public information? But that's really besides the point. Point is, a Texas fan, they found this. This was 3 years ago. I'm showing it to you right here. John Mateer paid Richard Roten, I guess, which is one of his friends or something, for sports gambling. In parentheses, UCLA versus USC. He found another one right under that that's labeled as, guess what? You can't make it up. Sports gambling. And I'm going to talk about this, but wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. I'll give Mateer one thing. At least he ain't trying to hide anything. I mean, dude, you could have labeled this as anything else, and we wouldn't even be making a video. You wouldn't have been trending. You wouldn't even be in this situation. Sports gambling? Come on, you big dummy. I know you're smarter than this. I mean, come on, man. You know, as an athlete, you can't gamble on sports. So even if you and your buddies, you got a wager going on or whatnot, if you're sending them money on Venmo, why are you... I just can't get over he's labeling the transaction as sports gambling. He could have labeled it as, for instance, movie, lunch, dinner, or he didn't have to put anything, but he put sports gambling. I got to show you one of the funniest tweets I've ever seen. So while all this is trending and whatnot, people are tagging it to me left and right. By the way, if you ever want to send me news like this, something's trending, tweet it at me on Twitter. It's the same as the YouTube channel. But anyways, like I was saying, I saw this tweet and I just got to clap it up. This is a masterpiece. So the Barstool Longhorn page said, Arch, you need to delete your Venmo, Arch. Like in the, whatchamacallit. What's the, Breaking Bad voice from, what's his name? Oh, yeah, Walter White. That's my type of humor. That's great stuff. But on a serious note, I bet other athletes, yeah, they were definitely taking notice of this. Here's where things started to get straight up comical. Guess who got involved in all of this? Some of you have forgotten about this guy, but when I say his name, it's going to ring a bell. Connor Stallions. Yes, the Connor Stallions. You know who he is. The Manifesto Man from Michigan. He tweeted out this: Venmo transactions, quote unquote, sports gambling, media. I'm going to need to see more proof. If you don't know what he's referring to, there's people out here seeing the John Mateer thing and are like, well, we need some more proof behind it. Under that, Venmo transactions, actual Marine Corps t-shirt purchase orders, media. Oh yeah, Connor Stallions, he's guilty. I know that may be confusing. Let me try to dumb it down even more. Connor Stallions is saying how it's crazy people are throwing him to the fire when he was just selling t-shirts, but then people are actually taking John Mateer's side. Moving along here, last night, I was assuming that this would escalate just because of how big the situation is and was, and it did. Earlier this morning, this is breaking news as when I'm speaking, making this video. I'm going to read this off word for word. On 3 posted this: Oklahoma is aware of John Mateer's Venmo transactions and is handling it. Georgia, or that's just the reporter. Quote unquote, Mateer made it clear to the school that he has never gambled. Pete Thamel posted this right before 9 a.m. Oklahoma officials are aware of John Mateer's Venmo activity that surfaced online last night that twice references, quote unquote, sports gambling and includes a reference to a specific game. Mateer has consistently denied to OU officials ever being involved with gambling, per his source. Continuing along, OU officials are looking into the situation after finding out about it late last night and plan to be proactive and exhaust every avenue. What do y'all think about that? The last part of it caught my attention. Exhaust every avenue, which means, yeah, they're going down the rabbit hole. They're going to try to figure this out. Now, here's my thing, right? I know some of you have probably already typed this in the comment section. Can you actually, even if he labeled it as sports gambling, can you actually prove it was for sports gambling? Trying to think here just to be sure, but no, I mean, there's no way. You can label any transaction on Venmo for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean it was for that specific reason, if that makes sense. So if the NCAA were to go up to John Mateer's house, knock on the door, say, hey, is he here? I want to speak to him. They go, hey, we saw this transaction on Venmo 3 years ago. You labeled it as sports gambling. Were you actually gambling? And as long as Mateer takes the Roderick from Dire Wimpy Kid strategy and just denies, well, they ain't got anything against him. All he's really got to say is, oh, yeah, it was a joke with one of my buddies. We weren't actually sports gambling, even if they were, and he's off the hook. I'm not going to hold you. Let's say, for the sake of this video, he actually was sports gambling. Do I, Matt B. Great, care? Heck to the no. It doesn't affect my life. It doesn't change my life. It's not that big of a deal. If him and his buddies were watching a game in which they weren't playing, they're like, hey, let's put $5 on USC, UCLA. I don't see any harm in that, but that's just me. I know others feel differently. Here is the only way he could get caught and get in some serious trouble and lose his eligibility. If he were, so the example I just gave you, let me go back to this. They're sitting on the couch. It's Friday, Saturday night. They don't have anything to do. And he goes, hey, you want to put 10 buckaroonies, 10 doubloons on USC versus UCLA? And his buddy's like, sure, let's do it. That's fine. That's kosher. Nothing's going to come out of that. But, I have another ginormous big but, if this were a situation where he was paying his friend to then go on a website and gamble on that game, we got a sticky situation on our hands. Because the NCAA or Oklahoma or whoever, they can go down the rabbit hole and track all that down. If Mateer was giving his buddy money to gamble on a site on those games, that's the only way I see he runs into some issues. But I'm pretty sure nothing's going to come out of this. If anything does, you already know, I'll keep you updated. Many more things I can say. I want to make this a short, simple, and sweet video. Like I said, if we can get this video to 500, I think I said, 500 likes in 2 hours, we'll do an AP poll reaction. I know you'll want to see it. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below.